I bought this Mastercraft drill press that has a spring here that lowers the quill and attaches, you know, you put things here and clamp it in, drills holes in it. But you can't go side to side and like take a chunk of metal off of this. So I can't move this vise on this because the bearing in this is only for up and down pressure, not side to side pressure. So this vise, just to give you an idea of scale, so this vise is, I think it's a 6-inch vise. So it, relative to this new drill press, I still have to back up further to fit it in, is pretty insignificant. But what this monstrosity allows me to do is mill from side to side. So here there's this collet clamp. This may fall. Hold on. Okay, I got it out. So this little nut assembly up here is connected through this quill to these collets that are called R8, I believe. And on the quill moves up and down two ways. There's the manual, and then there's a very precision stop there. You can set your depth, and then you can lock the quill. Then this bed is what you drill into. So instead of just having this vise, you can attach the vise to the bed using like screws and stuff. So I could take this vise and I could screw it right there. But I need to clean this thing. So that will be phase one. Why did I get this? Oh man, I have been doing more and more metal work for little brackets, little angle pieces, some trim. I've been doing a lot of trim work. I have a chop saw, but it's not very precise. So I have a saw blade attachment for this, and I am going to look for, there is a 90-degree attachment that I can put a saw here, and I can use that as a very, very precise saw. Whew. It is on a pallet, but I would like to butcher block this a little better. So put in a couple 2x4s underneath and support the machine as best as I can. The power, okay, so to plug this thing in, they told me it was 600 volts, but I say nay. And I look at this and I go, well, if I take off this cap, there is a motor in there that has these windings, likely inside here someplace, and that currently goes to this contactor, and this contactor, okay, so if it is off, there's this locking switch. This thing. Okay. Are you ready for contact? Alright, so it's this bar or a bar underneath. It's still underneath. Holy. These contactors go in. That's what goes in. Lines connecting here, chassis connection. But I'm worried about this motor. This motor is cheap, and it is probably 65 years old, so the bearings are probably shot in it. There's these little screws here to adjust these wheels. I gotta fix that. clean this off. So I'm going to start cleaning today. I tipped it upside down when I shipped it, so there's going to be oil everywhere. Oh, this has these noozles, and somebody greased it. It should have been oil, and I believe this is all greased up. So this is a common thing when you buy really cheap mills or old shitty tools. So it moves pretty smoothly back and forth. The wheels are pretty rusted, and everything is just cruddy. I don't know what they use to cut, but once they cut plus grease, so I put in some oil last night. So this is, yeah, that's just, it's like bird poop. So anyway, I got to take all this apart. I got to take this. What do they call it? Keyway. There's a key in here that holds this tight and gives you the precision of moving this back and forth relative to these dovetail precision ground dovetails. There is a grinder in Whitby who does all like the grinding for the power plant and stuff. So I've thought about sending it to them and just get them to just grind this down. Like, it's pretty rusty, but it's also it's 42 inches long. So what happens is they twist, believe it or not, because it's still metal, but it moves super well. It moves back and forth super well. Again, look at that, gross. So I'm gonna vacuum and maybe shoot another video after tonight to see how far I get. I'm going to do one shot cleaning. This is the knee. So there's a crank. You crank the knee up and down. A good friend of mine may have some servos for me. So I will see where that ends up. I got to call my father-in-law to do this one because I'm not an electrician. So I've got cleaner. And then I bought a VFD for it. So I have this remote. So this is start the mill, stop the mill, faster, slower, stop, change direction, and then a whole bunch of parameters to control that motor. But it's probably, like, this was $50. And to replace that might be 400. Yeah, it might be $400. It's got this pretty big RAM. Like, this thing is, yeah, I knew it could extend past there, and we rammed it right into the wall. So from the wall, from the wall to the quill is about a meter. So, you know,